Tonight on Country Squire Radio, is it your first pipe? Are you ready to learn what to do with it? This is the place. It's a Pipe 101 episode. Plus, we've got a pipe question dedicated to church wardens and smoking a pipe wet. What does that even mean? Find out tonight on Country Squire Radio. Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Beau.
And I'm John David.
JD.
Hey, Beau. Good evening, man.
Man, good evening to you, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, bro.
I know, right? Yeah, man. It's great. It's 2017 here. So, how many years have we been doing this now? Almost 4?
Almost
right?
4 years.
That's
yeah.
incredible. Every time I look up and think about it, it just kind of blows my mind, how this started. And we just, we're celebrating another new year. And man, excited to see what happens with Country Squire Radio this 2017.
Man, I got to tell you, this is the first year, I think, that you and I have actually rung in the new year together. Well, at least part of the new year.
Is that right?
Yeah, because of course, New Year's Eve, we've got to give a shout out here.
Yeah.
Loyal listener, fan, and sometimes in the background voice of the show, Briar Bowser.
That's right.
He is a married man.
He did, man. Briar actually got married this past weekend.
And big
New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Big time.
That's right.
It was a beautiful wedding. And it was kind of one of those weddings where like everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
It did. Most of it was weather induced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it was absolutely gorgeous. One of the most beautiful weddings I've ever been to is on New Year's Eve. Briar, of course, he and also now his wife. Little known fact, I just want to share this with you, kind of pull the curtain back a little bit. When we first started doing these in the shop, they would actually sit in together back when they were dating.
That's right.
And be our live studio audience. And so we've gotten kind of a front row seat to their relationship. And I got to tell you, man, Briar, obviously a good friend of both of ours.
That's right.
Seeing him walk down the aisle, seeing Morgan as well, and just their relationship, I could not be prouder of Briar, and what a beautiful ceremony it was. And of course, you were working a tobacco bar.
Yeah, man.
At the wedding.
Not only was I a groomsman in the wedding, which I was excited to be, but Briar had me there to actually do cigars that evening, and so he got to pick out the ones he enjoyed, which was great. And we had a big night of it, man. It was just really fun. It was exciting to see. It was funny as you and I were getting ready tonight for our episode. Of course, we do this live on Monday nights, and Briar is almost always here, silently in the background,
right, right.
And like you mentioned, we got to see his now wife and him, watch this live with us on a regular basis. And a lot of times, they would even, kind of help us along, set up, or, if people come to the door when we're recording, help them, or, it's just always funny. Beau and I are doing our thing, and there's Briar always kind of in the background. And he's not here tonight because he's on his freaking honeymoon.
Yes,
so,
they are.
Man, we're really, really excited for them, and happy for them, and happy that we've been able to be a part of their story too.
Morgan too. Got to give her a shout out as a proud pipe smoker.
That's right.
At the Christmas party when I was going around doing interviews, there was a couple of ladies together, and I was like, oh, do you mind? Because I feel like, there's a lot of women pipe smokers out there that don't feel they're represented enough in the conversation and in the internet conversation.
That's right.
And she was like, she stepped up immediately saying, "Lad, let's do this."
She's all about it. Yeah, it was
first
cool.
Lady.
The first lady of pipe smoking, perhaps. But it's funny. We had this cigar bar at their wedding, and she. I think probably due to all the stress and everything, was very keen on getting her cigar at the wedding. So here she is. She's beautifully dressed.
That's right.
And she beats Briar by like 30 minutes to the cigar bar, sitting there lighting it up and enjoying that big stogie. So that was
Did we get a picture of the bride in her wedding dress smoking a stogie?
No, we did not.
That is a missed opportunity.
We did not. That was a missed opportunity. But her mother probably appreciates that.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyway, man, Beau, how was your holidays, man? We've been haven't had a live show for a couple weeks, but dude, Christmas, New Year's, how'd it go?
Man, it was very eventful. I got to say, this overall was probably one of the best holiday seasons I ever had. But I feel like I got drunk off the holidays, and I woke up the next day with a hangover, and I'm ready to get back into the new year. You know what I mean? I will say this though, we need to give a major thank you to those of you right now listening, tuning in.
Yeah.
I before we went on a hiatus mentioned, we were just a few away from 200. I think we're 10 away from 200 or something like that in terms of our iTunes reviews. And on New Year's Eve, in the last couple of minutes, we had a surge of iTunes reviews that brought us over 200 into the new year. So we actually
awesome, man. We closed out 2016 with 200 reviews.
203 actually.
That's great.
How about that? So you
Man.
guys go above and beyond, and we really appreciate that. So thank you so much. We've got those kind words that we'll be sharing in the coming episodes. And,
that's right.
It's a great thing. So big ups to all of you who are able to do it. You know, I had wanted to smoke my pipe on New Year's Eve, but I was unavailable to do so just with managing the children. Actually, you saw me at the wedding.
No, you were a little scattered. Yeah, you were going to enjoy your victory smoke or there with Briar at his wedding, but you know the little rascals kind of kept you busy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It was good though. Yeah, man. As far as
you?
As far as mine went, it was great. You know, one thing about being in retail. You've got to be close to home. You know, you've got to be close. So every time someone asks me, man, what'd you do for Christmas? Where'd you go? Did you take any trips or, you know, visit any family? And man, the family I visited was right here, right here in the floor of the Country Squire. It was really great. But yeah, my parents came to town. We had a good visit and you know, thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. You know, just hanging out. And then of course New Year's Eve celebrated Briar, and then yeah, just took it in, man, went to bed right around midnight and was just happy as a clam.
Did you make it to midnight?
I don't want to talk about
it. All right. I did, but just barely.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of in and out there, but I remember when it happened, and then
okay, so that's good.
I was awake when the clock ticked. Yeah.
That's good. Well, guys, we mentioned it on the last couple of episodes leading up to our first episode of 2017 that we would have a big announcement for you. And yes, in fact, we do. Big thank you, by the way, just real quick to those of you who tuned in live tonight to hear the big announcement and also just kind of spend some time together. One of the things that we have heard over the last year, and actually throughout the history of this podcast, as you mentioned, we've almost been doing this for 4 years now. Is that it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But a lot of you have talked about the really kind of harping in on what we've set out to do from the beginning, which was give the feel of walking into kind of this mom and pop tobacco shop, the sense of community.
That's right.
The sense of history, the sense of connection that can really only happen in such a unique place. You know, Matt, I think actually back to when we first started the podcast and when things were starting, I remember so many times sitting in the Country Squire radio or in the Country Squire thinking like, this is something special that I like, if I didn't have this, I would want this. Like, this is, you know, there's something just very unique about the community here. And so to open that up and to spread that out, we've also heard a lot of you say that, you know, you wish that there was kind of the sense of community and that the show has actually provided that sense of community for you for some time.
That's right.
You've heard us talk about on the show, our local pipe club and pipe clubs around the country. And a lot of you have said, I wish there was a pipe club that I could be a part of. Well, tonight,
wow, we're doing this.
We're doing this.
We're rolling it. I'm gonna just let you know we're a little nervous.
We're a little nervous about this. It's 2017. We are announcing the Country Squire Radio Pipe Club.
Yes.
Now this is unique, and let me first, before saying what it is, let me actually say what it's not.
Right. Yeah.
And it is not a replacement for a local pipe club. In fact, a local pipe club is extremely important, and we hope actually through the Country Squire Radio Pipe Club to empower people to go out and actually start their own pipe clubs or be more engaged in their pipe clubs and give people some resources to help them with what they're doing.
That's right.
And so it is not a replacement for a local pipe club at all. You do not need to quit your local pipe club. You don't need to not look for a local pipe club, but this is something unique. And so it's not a replacement, but this is what it is. And it is a unique way to help support the creation of the Country Squire Radio podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
As well as kind of build to something more and greater down the road.
That's right.
We have the way this works is very unique in the sense that, of course, what we do is very unique. We are proud to announce that we actually have a Patreon account, patreon.com/Country Squire Radio. And actually, if you go to countrysquireradio.com and click on the button that says join the club, that is there live as of about 30 minutes ago.
That's right. Yeah, it's live because I'm on it right now.
I know. It's crazy. That'll take you directly to our Patreon page. Now, here's the way this works. And by the way, before I dive too deep into this, let me assure you, for the next couple episodes, we'll be bringing this up, kind of walking through this. That's because it's our first time doing it. It's not every single episode. You're not going to hear us kind of go through all of these semantics.
Yeah.
But that being said, The Patreon account is a great way for you to help support the creation of the show. This past year, we saw a lot of challenges to the pipe community. We've also seen a lot of growth in the pipe community as well. And so we want to make sure that we are empowering the community to grow and utilizing the show as a way to connect people and kind of see, and we kind of see this, hopefully, and we hope that you see this as well, as almost like an investment in the community to grow and to bond and make sure that we have kind of, I wasn't going to say this, but something of a war chest, because you never know what the future holds. Here's the way it's going to work. If you go to patreon.com/Country Squire Radio, you'll see there's 3 tiers. The first is just simply a listener tier. If you're somebody who listens to the podcast, you just want to support us, you don't necessarily want to be part of a club, it's just $1 an episode. It's a nice way to help the creation of the show, and it goes a long way. But if you do want to be a Pipe Club member, a Country Squire Radio Pipe Club member, we've got 2 different levels: a Pilgrim level at $3 and a Squire level at $5.
Yeah,
and it's a way to help support the show per episode to make the content happen.
That's right. And we'll be rolling out different benefits kind of that go along with that. Each membership level there. But would it be appropriate if I just kind of
Please do.
Went through each of that? If you join at the $3 a member level at the Pilgrim level, as a member, you'll have access to actually our entire RSS feed, and that's something a lot of folks constantly ask for, right? So we've got folks that we've got over 150 episodes now, and it's stuff that goes way back there, but it's not all actually available for listeners right now, just because of the cost that goes into getting all that up. And so we're going to make that available to you if you are a member. Actually, and we're also going to give you a Pipe Pilgrim avatar, which is kind of cool. It's just something you can kind of use as a distinctive when you're online, involved in any forums or clubs that you're involved in just through the internet. One of those things just to make you stand out as someone that is a member of the Country Squire Radio Pipe Club. And then also you'll obviously get early access to products and any kind of promotions we do, or as we go forward, any type of special things we do, pipe club blends, pipes of the year, things like that. Obviously you'll have the ability to get on a list to purchase things like that. So we're really excited about those things, and I think for the Pilgrim level, it's just going to be a really accessible way for a lot of folks to get involved, that are just dedicated listeners and want to help support the show.
That's right. You'll also have your name listed at countrysquireradio.com, and there's additional benefits that will be available as we kind of go along that you can kind of explore the Patreon page to find out more about, including community meetups and such. We also have the Squire level. Now, the Squire level, all the same benefits as a Pilgrim level, but the big ticket item is once you've been a Squire for a year, you'll actually have your name engraved on a plaque here at the Country Squire.
Yeah,
right here, like literally in the shop.
I'm so excited about this, man. Because,
I can't believe you offered this. This is huge.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. We've got, of course, it is a little more to ask for the Squire level member, but at that $5 a week thing, we talked with several listeners about this because we wanted to make sure we were offering something where people could invest in what we're trying to do, but also have get something meaningful from it. A lot of folks are obviously thankful for the community that we've built together and all that type of stuff, and so we got some feedback that this would be a good thing, but we wanted to do something that was a lasting deal that would really honor the folks that got involved with us at this level. And so we have at the Country Squire this program that is called the Loyal Squires Club, and it's for our local customers. They actually get to, as they build points at our shop, they actually get their name engraved on a brass plaque that goes on our wall here at the Country Squire, and sits here forever. And so it's one of those things, your name actually goes on the wall, and we were like, okay, what kind of concept of that could we bring to Country Squire Radio, the Pipe Club? And so Beau and I got to kicking this around. We were like, we think the level of input that so many of you have said you'd be willing to do with this, obviously merits that. We couldn't be here without you. We couldn't do in today's world with all the things stacked against, our pipe community and everything else. We couldn't be here without a tight-knit community like that. And we want to put something in brick and mortar, that's going to honor folks that are involved, particularly at that Squire level. And so, so if you were involved at that level for a year, man, your name is going to go on the wall of the Country Squire for forever.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's incredible.
So I thought that was really exciting.
You can learn more about it. There's obviously more community reasons to get involved. We actually have, as part of our goals, a community, a members-only Facebook group, members-only meetups, that sort of thing. We'll have more to announce as things go on. And since this is unique, this will be kind of a growing thing. Members will be able to help kind of define what the club looks like going forward.
Yeah.
And so we want to encourage you, if you have not done so, obviously you haven't, because we're announcing it for the first time.
It's happening right now, baby.
But those of you who are tuning in live, you're actually got the first opportunity to do so. Head over to countrysquireradio.com, click the button that says join the club. You can also go to patreon.com/countrysquireradio, become a club member. Now, we also, as part of this announcement, with us kind of gearing up to this, and you're kind of we're just really excited about it.
We are.
We've got some gifts to give away to those of you who are early members. So every single week for the month of January, we'll be giving away a gift at random to club members.
That's right.
So stay tuned to the end of this episode to hear what the big gift is. Man, you were running me down the list of what you got lined up.
It's really exciting.
There's some nice gifts.
Well, and Beau and I were talking about this. Okay, we're taking the next step in the necessary evolution of what we've developed as the Country Squire radio community, right? So we've worked hard to bring this amazing community to life, and that has been because of you. We've had just such an incredible outpouring of support as we have started this. Golly, Beau, I just think back to you twisting my arm, convincing me to even do a podcast in general. And it's turned into this incredible community that people have just really rallied around and found a home in, as far as the pipe community goes. And so, we're really excited about this. We wanted to kind of start this out with a bang, right?
That's right.
I mean, we really did. And so Beau and I, we kind of agreed. We got together and got some really cool gifts together for this January session.
It's gonna be fun.
So for the next 4 weeks, like you said, we are going to be giving away a nice gift.
Don't say what it is yet.
I'm not
okay.
for the first 4 weeks of the of January, and those will be available to new club members. And so,
that's right.
I'll just kind of let you know it, and again, we'll announce the gift at the end of the episode. But if you join at the Pilgrim or at the Squire level this week, then you will be eligible next week for the gift that we announce. And the good thing is, if you if you actually get involved by there you go. If you actually get if you actually sign up this week but don't win the following week, then it'll be something that you will be still in the running for the rest of the month.
That's right.
So go ahead and sign up. You'll be, if you don't win this coming week, you'll be eligible for the next week's gift and the next week's gift.
That's
but we just wanted to do something, give away some really cool stuff just to, kind of start this off. So
man, I'm excited about it. And by the way, just to kind of wrap things up, to move on to this tonight's show, I do want to mention, for those of you who, for whatever reason, you can't necessarily join at the club level, it's a little bit too rich for your blood, but you still want to help make this show happen.
Yeah.
We really greatly appreciate those $1 an episode donations as well. And if you do that, you also get our full access to the archive of podcasts that we've produced. Almost, you mentioned over 150. We've had almost 200 episodes. We'll actually hit episode 200 this year, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's right.
So a little something for you guys as well. But we really appreciate all of you, no matter who you are. Whether you're able to be a club member, whether you're able just to pledge as a listener, or even if you're just tuning in and listening, we just want you to know that we really appreciate you. Those of you who've tuned in to listen to us for almost 4 years now, and even those of you who are tuning in for the first time this episode, the fact that you are spending some time with us and listening every single week, that's not lost on us, and we just want you to know that we really appreciate that.
It's not. We really do. We wouldn't be here without you, and it's a big honor to who we are and what we do. So. Man, Beau, there it is. We The Country Squire Radio International Pipe Club.
Yeah, and
it's live, baby.
Yeah, that's true. Can we say international? I mean, we did. We've got a few members now. Which, by the way, I almost teared up a minute when I saw that as we were announcing it. We've already got a couple of members.
Oh man, it makes me really happy.
And I noticed one of those is Russ, and Russ has been to France, so yeah, it's international.
That's great, man. That's great.
We appreciate that so much.
We're very thankful.
All right. Man, we've got a great show planned for tonight.
Yeah.
It is a brand new year, and we are coming off of the holiday season. And that means that there are many of you out there who may have been gifted a little something from old Saint Nick, and that is a new pipe.
The new Christmas pipe.
Yes, sir. And the great thing is, the funny thing is, I was thinking about it as we did kind of our holiday suite of episodes, we kept on talking about how, you want to make sure you're giving somebody a pipe or perhaps you have that on your Christmas list. But there are those of you who may be, for the first time ever, I'm sorry, I got to pause the episode. That is a perfect pipe smoke ring.
Was that caught on camera?
I hope that was caught on camera. Okay, see, I have said we need to do an episode dedicated to pipe rings, and you're like, well, I don't feel comfortable.
I actually don't know how to replicate that. So
that was beautiful.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. Live show only experience. That's great. There's those of you who have gotten a pipe for the first time as a Christmas gift, or maybe you've got that Christmas money, you purchased your first pipe. Tonight, we're answering the question of, hey, I got a new pipe. Now what? A beginner's entry level. Now, one of the things we've done with these pipe smoking 101 episodes that we'll hopefully try to accomplish tonight as well is provide information for the newbies, but also allow for some interesting aspects to people who might be in the hobby for quite some time.
Yeah.
And for those of you who tuning in live, be sure to tweet in your thoughts as we give some advice to the new pipe smokers as well. So, John David, I just got a new pipe. Now what?
Now what? It is funny, as a tobacconist, someone that, retails with these things, and you can almost pick them out, the new pipe smokers that come in right after Christmas. They got this really, to them, an odd gift, which is that of a briar tobacco pipe, or, sometimes a corncob or a meerschaum, but typically briar. And these folks come in, they walk in the shop kind of sheepishly and are like, I've never been in a place like this, but I have this new device that I need help with, and that don't know the questions to ask, and don't know, the people to ask the questions, and don't know what they don't know. But
what's interesting though?
Yeah,
like the pipe, it's one of those things that when you get a gift for Christmas, like sometimes, especially with like the new technology and everything else that's coming out, there's an intimidation factor.
Oh yeah,
my father-in-law. He gave me, re-gifted me like a VR, like one of these things where you slide your phone into it and it's supposed to replicate a VR type experience.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it's like this plastic thing. And I got to tell you, like, I'm a tech guy. Looking at that thing, I was pretty intimidated. And it's not like it's just a piece of plastic. It's not like it does anything. But when you get a pipe, there's something about the pipe that's extremely unintimidating when you see it.
Yeah,
unintimidating to get. But then when you kind of
go through the mechanics of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that was the funny thing is, folks are like, I thought I knew what to do with this, but give me some help. Like, what do I need? How do I get started? And so, it's always fun around this time of year for Beau and I to kind of revisit some of these 101 episodes of where we talk about, okay, what are some of the basic things that we can do to get our, new pipe smokers kind of up and at it. So, I got a new pipe. Now what? All right. So you may or may not have been gifted with some tobacco to go with your brand new pipe. And so the first place to start is to select the appropriate tobacco for you. If you have a new pipe,
intimidation,
and you're one of those, you walk into a shop like the Country Squire or another, fine retailer of tobaccos, you would see, perhaps a wall of different tobaccos, be they in jars or in tins. And it's important to understand kind of the breakdown of those things. You've got so many tobaccos that are going to be the real sweet tobaccos, those aromatics that you might think of your grandfather smoking, make the room smell like that warm cherry or something like that. And then you're going to have the tobaccos that are the non-aromatics, those that kind of have a more robust, spicy, smoky smell to them. That run the handmaidens out of the room. Yeah. And so you've got those two broad groups. When most people start smoking a pipe, they typically prefer something mild and semi-sweet. At least that's kind of the American palate. So we're in the deep South. We like all the sugary stuff, and a lot of folks when they come in, they're wanting something that kind of evokes that nice, soft room note, the easygoing tobacco flavor and smell that people kind of associate with warm grandpa's pipe. So I've got a new pipe. Now what? Let's pick the right tobacco for you. Typically, I tell folks, we've talked about at length on the show tobaccos for people to start with in the pipe world. You want to start with something that burns relatively easy, that's going to be easy to keep lit. But that's also going to be something that doesn't burn super hot, so that it's going to be easy on your tongue. There's this concept, if you're new to the pipe world, called tongue bite. Tongue bite is something that if you start smoking your pipe and have a lot of trouble keeping it lit or something, you kind of can start to get that burn sensation on your tongue, and we want to fight that. So
can I tell you something? I'm going to confess something right
here.
Yeah,
what's
now.
that?
I've been in the hobby for several years. Every single time the word tongue bite has come up, I've kind of been like, wait, what does that mean again? That's so bad, I know, but
that's it, man.
That's what I figured.
That's it. Yeah, it's just that tongue burning sensation. It's almost like when you haven't had any of your hot coffee yet, but you drink that first sip of piping hot coffee, and your tongue just gets a little sting to it. A lot of times, new pipe smokers will find that sensation, and it's something that it comes around and it is uncomfortable, but there's ways to kind of power through that. The easiest way to get used to smoking a pipe is to find a tobacco where that's not going to be a really hard part of the experience. So we want to find something that is easy to keep lit, doesn't have a lot of tongue bite, and probably is kind of sweet too. So it's funny, we mentioned and so many of our listeners have mentioned their love of this tobacco on air. And it's something that we have pointed to in the past to give people a real good understanding of just a nice, sweet, mellow tobacco. But that's Lane 1Q. Of course, our friends at Lane,
a lot of people's first.
They know how to make good tobaccos, right? And so Lane 1Q, regularly available at a lot of brick and mortar tobacco shops. And so you'll be able to walk in, ask for something. The person behind the counter, if they don't have something like it, or if they don't have it, they'll have something like it. And Lane 1Q, just a real nice, soft Cavendish Virginia mixture that has a real kind of easygoing vanilla topping on it. It's just a real smooth tobacco, easy to keep lit, and a good starting place for a lot of people.
What was that? You remember the car commercial where it's like this car drives by and like, this lady, she's got like these kids and everything, but she sees the car come by and she kind of gives it a knowing nod. And then it's like a dude, he's got a business suit and everything, but then he sees the car, he gives a knowing nod. Like, it's all these people like see this car. It's like, you never forget your first. To some extent, that's Lane 1Q.
That's Lane 1Q.
A lot of people.
For a lot of people. I was actually chatting with a customer earlier today on text message, who will remain nameless, but this person was like, I have smoked a shameful amount of 1Q in my life. And I think there's a real sense in which 1Q, it's prolific, it's everywhere, it's this ubiquitous tobacco, but it's been around and it's so popular for a reason, right?
Well, and that's the beautiful thing is your tobacconist, if you say he or she is gonna know what you're talking about.
That's right. Right. So it's a good go-to tobacco, and I think one of those that is sweet but not way too sweet for folks to just kind of get started on. So if you're looking for a new tobacco to go with your new pipe, Lane 1Q is an option. Another one also from our friends at Lane that I think would be a good start would be the Burley Light without a bite. But Burley Light, it's a sugar burley that just a real soft, burley. I think it actually might be mixed with some Virginias. I'm not positive, but Burley Light, it's one of those that's just super smooth. It's got kind of this creamy, almost caramel flavor. A lot of folks, think it goes nice with a cup of coffee or something. Real caramel, maybe chocolatey flavor to it. Super smooth, real creamy, makes the room smell nice and warm. That would be also another good one to start with. Our friends at McClellan make several good tobaccos. If you want something that is kind of a cherry flavor, you might go with McClellan's Triple Cherry. good tobacco to go with. The folks at Sutliff also make good tobaccos. We really encourage you to look at maybe their Malta Dolce, one of their top selling blends. And if you want something that's not particularly sweet, but something that just has kind of a nice, easygoing flavor to it, you might try McClellan's 5100, or even at the Country Squire, you might even try something like our Merriweather, or Pirates Alley or something like that. The goal, though, really is on that first tobacco to find something that's easy to light, easy to keep lit, and is going to be easy on your tongue. Yeah,
man. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to ask you, I think about the fact that, as a podcaster, I always think about every single episode as potentially somebody's first episode.
Yeah.
You're a tobacconist.
Yeah, I kind of lose sight of that. That's a good point.
Well, but at the same time, as a tobacconist, I mean, do you have up in your head the tally of how many tobaccos you've created?
No, I probably should, because there's been a lot that, we've
dozens,
created that
easily dozens.
aren't on the shelf because they've been a private blend for someone, or one that maybe we've put on the shelf and then retired or brought back. I don't know. Well, it's been a bunch.
I just think about the fact that you when you're creating content, when you're creating the tobaccos for your various customers, you're creating them with a vision in mind.
Yeah, sure.
But there are those tobaccos out there like the Lane 1 Qs. They're almost built to be an entry level tobacco.
Yeah.
And then you have those out there like, let's just say Bowser's Castle, that are like built to be don't let this be your first time.
That's right.
Because it'll run you off.
It will.
In a direction.
It will.
Longtime people who've established their palate in a certain way would love something like Bowser's Castle. So, I mean, like,
that's right.
I'm curious as a tobacconist, like, how often are you thinking about that entry level?
Yeah. I think about it quite a bit, because so often, those are the folks that come in and really spend a lot of time in the shop. They're folks that are really hungry for information on how to, get deeper into it, how to get involved. They want to know the right questions to ask. They want to know, if they're doing things properly. And I like to spend a lot of time with those folks. Not that I don't like to spend time with, the folks that are more established, but, new pipe smokers are gonna quit if they're not shepherded along with the process. You know what I mean? So I'm always most sensitive to those people, the folks that come in that, you can kind of tell they might be a little sheepish walking up to the tobacco bar and aren't really sure, the differences. They might think the tobaccos are, they can tell difference in the tobacco based on what color the leaves are and this kind of thing.
Right,
and so they try to start figuring out. You can kind of see the wheels turning, and those are folks I really like to dive in with and try to find what fits them, and also give them tips on how to continue. So,
man, that's good.
Pretty cool. So you got your new pipe, you've picked out your first tobacco. Let's just say it's Lane 1 Q. If you don't have a tamper, whoever gifted you your pipe forgot that, and
well, they might not have known.
Right.
It's not always like one of us introducing a newcomer. Sometimes it's like there's been tons of new pipe smokers who have kind of mentioned to their sweetheart that they just loved that scene in Lord of the Rings where Gandalf's cleaning out, or where Gandalf is smoking his pipe or something of that nature.
That's right.
So they go in like, I want a Gandalf pipe, and they buy a pipe, and then maybe they might have left before the tobacco's like, no, you need it. Oh, come back.
You need this one thing.
Exactly. So it may be that they didn't forget. They may not have known.
And so now we need to remedy that and get a tamper for your pipe. And so tampers, for those of you that are new to pipe smoking, this is kind of the like I always mention, people make fun of me for all my analogies, but it's kind of the poker next to your fireplace, right? This is that tool that you use next to the fireplace to kind of keep the fire going, to keep the logs burning, the smoke stoked up, and the house warm. And so, as you know, if you are a camper, Boy Scout, like to build a campfire occasionally. You don't light the fire and it burns all night. You have to light the fire and then tend to it to keep it lit. And you treat your pipe that way as well.
You have to father the flame.
You do have to father the flame. We did not come up with that, but we do know the people that did.
That's right.
And we love them dearly. And so you get you a tamper. If you go to your local tobacconist and you don't happen to, they don't happen to have a tamper there that's available, or aren't familiar with that because they don't do a lot of pipe business or something like that, man, go in your closet, go in your basement, get something like a golf tee, just a nail, something that's got a flat bottom on it, and preferably something flat bottom.
You did not
flat
just tell
bottom.
people to go pull out a nail.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Look, all right, hang on.
Absolutely.
No. All right, for new
preferably
listeners,
not a rusty one.
For new listeners, I would encourage you to go back and look for an episode called Tamp Dad Ash.
Tamp Dad Ash is probably my favorite episode that we've ever done,
title wise. And here's the thing, though, in that episode,
it was a fun episode.
We go through a lot of different types of tamps, but one of the things that we do kind of walk away with is, in a pinch, use anything.
No, that's right.
But first time,
first time. No, yeah, that's the thing. Look, you've got to. If you're a person that doesn't have access to a shop that even knows what a tamp is, like, you got to have a tamper, right? You got to have a tamper. So go get you a golf tee, get you a nail, get you a stick or something that's just got a nice, kind of an old tube of chapstick or something. And then, like I've mentioned before on the show, every chapstick tube in my car has got a melted lid on it because at some point I've used it for a a doggone tamper in the car, which is kind of funny. But your tamper, again, that's what you're going to use to keep your pipe lit. And so as you're going to light your pipe with a match. You can use a lighter if you want to. We can talk more about lighters at another point, but get that flame kind of rolling, deep puffs, get that flame deep in there. And then once you get a nice kind of rolling smoke going with a smoldering, tobacco, just a lot of rolling smoke. Then you're going to take your tamper and just gently puff, tamp down on those leaves while you're puffing on it. What you're doing, that whole process is getting those leaves pushed back down into the fire. It's going to give that opportunity for the fire to really take off. So many of new pipe smokers, just like you, they get frustrated because their pipe continues to go out.
Right.
And even though there is a sense when you're smoking a pipe that it's going to be a little more finicky, that you are going to be relighting more, we do want to make it easier for your pipe to stay lit. And if you use a tamper periodically, your pipe is just going to stay lit easier and more often. So anyway, tamp your pipe, just kind of gently push the leaves down as you're smoking throughout your smoke. Every couple minutes, as you notice the flame starting to dwindle, your smoke production starting to dwindle, just reach for your tamper, gently press the tobacco leaves down, and that'll help kind of stoke that flame back up, so you can keep your pipe lit without having to relight as often.
Yeah, and I think about the first time that I was trying to learn how to tamp that ash. That I was trying
it never gets old.
But I remember the first time that I was trying to learn how to tamp. I made the cardinal sin of pressing too hard.
Yeah.
And literally snuffing it out too many times.
Sure.
But one of the things I think I heard this from you, and it may have actually been on an episode, but you talked about using the tamp almost as a way to kind of trap the heat.
Yeah.
And kind of heat it up. I mean, if you think about the fact that when you open your oven and it's on, if you open it up, the heat gets out.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if when it's closed, the heat stays in. Now, obviously, you don't want to heat it up too fast because otherwise it'll burn too quickly. As has been always the reason why I end up out at a long smoke competition. But if you need a little help, like trapping that heat, heating it up, make that into just and maybe this is a bad practice, but this is what I do. I trap that heat in and it lights everything back up.
That's right. People have all these different kind of methods, and as you continue to smoke your pipe and get used to it, you'll find the quirkiest things that work. A lot of folks, they like to kind of cover the lid of the bowl to make the fire kind of work for it a little bit. I don't know if that helps or not. For some people, it really might. So, you find your thing, and use it. But you're right in saying that you don't want to tamp the pipe too hard, because in doing that, you run the risk of suffocating the flame. So yeah, just as you're starting out, take your tamper, whether it's that golf tee or that rusty nail, or
I implore you, please, not a rusty nail,
or the tube of chapstick in your console, and just gently tap the top of the tobacco leaves. And what that's going to do is give those leaves a real opportunity to get lit and to stay lit. So
Not a rusty nail. I can't believe if I had known you were going to say that.
I'm just what's funny is we're sitting here looking at this thing. I'm excited to talk about some of the things that someone sent us later in the show, and then anyway, yeah, I'll be surprised at your level of revulsion.
We're experienced.
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm trying to get that first time right for people.
That's right. That's right. Best case scenario, get you one of those three-way tools that are actually referred to as Czech tools.
That's right.
Because they most commonly are made in the Czech Republic. But the Czech tool is the one to be on the lookout for. If you are a new pipe smoker and you go to a tobacco shop, ask them if they've got a three-way pipe tool. If they're any tobacco shop worth their salt, they'll have a stack of them sitting over there, and that's the best way to go.
All right, so I've got my pipe. Obviously, I walked in with my pipe. I've got my tobacco now. A Lane 1Q, great entry level here. I've got my tamp, which I purchased as it can be a nail tamp, but not a rusty nail. I've got a tamp now. What else do I need?
Just a couple more things. So pipe, tobacco, tamper. Really, the only other thing you need to get started with your pipe adventure are your pipe cleaners. And so pipe cleaners, it's funny. As I've mentioned on the show before, people come in and they see the pipes on the wall, they see the pipe tobaccos, and then they see pipe cleaners. And it's always great. This happens at least once a week. Someone makes the connection that pipe cleaners are actually to clean a pipe.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Blows your mind.
And I love it. Folks,
you've been equipped since the age of 3.
You've known about pipe cleaners since you literally have been conscious.
That's right.
Because you're used to making little giraffes and penguins with them in kindergarten. But you didn't know that they were actually for a pipe. And so they are meant for cleaning actual pipes. And so get you some pipe cleaners. The standard pipe cleaners are the ones to get. You don't want, when you're starting out, probably the tapered ones or the ones with metal bristles in them. Just get the standard pipe cleaner. Our favorite here at the Country Squire is BJ Long. We've used those cleaners, religiously for years and really believe in them. They come in 100 count bags. Typically, you can also find them in bundles. We carry them in the 100 count bags, but get you some of those. There's other brands out there that are probably just as good, but we love the BJ Long ones. And just you'll want to have that with a pipe cleaner. Obviously, you're going to want to clean your pipe after each smoke, and so if you don't have a pipe that you can run the cleaner through from the end of the stem all the way into the bowl without taking it apart, you'll want to let your pipe cool down before you take it apart to clean the pipe. That's important because your pipe could actually start to get too loose and come apart if you take it apart when it's hot. So let your pipe cool down before you take it apart to clean it. I'm always surprised at the folks that, when I mention that to them, and they don't even realize that their pipe can come apart. I think that's kind of interesting. A lot of folks, they go into it, think, they don't, just because the stem is a different color from the shank and the rest of the pipe, they don't make the connection that those are separate pieces.
That's right.
And so a lot of new smokers are like, oh, it comes apart. Like, I didn't even know it comes apart. And so your pipe, if it's a good pipe, will come apart. And that's so that you can take it apart and clean it easier and more thoroughly. So you never want to take it apart whenever your pipe is hot. You want it to only come apart if it's a traditionally made pipe. You want it to come apart only when it's cooled down. So give your pipe an hour to cool down or so. Let it be just real room temperature to the touch, and then gently twist it apart and take your cleaner, run it through both the wood portion and the ebonite or plastic or acrylic portion of the pipe, and you'll be in good shape.
All right, pipe cleaners.
One last thing is you got to have something to put all this stuff in. So that's the thing.
Pipe tamp,
tobacco,
cleaners. Yeah, there's a couple of accessories. I got to keep up with all that.
That's right. That's right. So to smoke a pipe, you've got to have your pipe, your tobacco, your tamp, your cleaners, and now something to put all this stuff in. Now, the funny thing is, you can say like, oh, well, I don't have to buy some fancy leather pouch or whatever. You're right, you don't. But as a tobacconist, I find it's just really funny, the folks that never get literally anything to put their new stuff.
Okay,
in.
all right. I was about to say,
right.
You felt the judgment in my expression.
No, I was being judged by your expression.
I was about to say, you're not going to tell these people to tamp with a rusty nail and then go buy a leather bag.
No.
All right, just making sure.
But what is funny are the folks that will continue to come in for weeks and weeks and weeks, and what they've got to keep their pipe stuff in is the paper sack that they actually got with it, right? And so it's funny, we'll have these new pipe smokers, they come in, they're carrying their same white paper sack that they got their pipe in or their tobacco in at the Country Squire. That's what they're keeping all their pipe stuff in. And eventually they'll make the connection. They'll be like, hey, do you have something I can put all this stuff in? And, actually we talked about Briar a lot at the beginning of the show. I'll never forget. The first probably year and a half I knew Briar, he kept every bit of his pipe stuff in a beat up paper sack. It was just one. It was the sack that he got here at the Squire to put one of his early pipes in.
But if you saw his truck, you'd understand.
No, yeah. I mean, for Briar, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly.
We were just glad it was in one piece. But
right.
But a lot of folks, what they find easiest to put something like this in, I'll give you 2 suggestions of something that you probably already have around your house that you can keep all your pipe knickknacks in, and it just be really easy. The first one, obviously super easy because we see them here around the shop all the time, is an empty cigar box. Empty cigar boxes are great for your pipe stuff. Okay, so if you don't happen to have one, your uncle gave you one when you were a kid or something like that, go down to the cigar shop, see if they got any empty cigar boxes laying around, and get you a cool looking cigar box that'll fit your pipe, a little bit of tobacco, your tamp, and your pipe cleaners and all that kind of stuff, and you'll be in good shape. So cigar boxes are good. They look fun. They've got kind of a tobacco theme anyway, and typically most of them will fit all your little accessories that you really need for your essential stuff. Another one that's really popular that you've probably already got laying around your house is a DOP kit or a toiletry bag. A lot of people just refer to it, just kind of an overnight bag.
That's
something,
right.
When you travel,
Camping,
you've got that
college.
You've got that little bag when you travel that you throw, you're on your way out, you're rushing, you're like, oh, what do I need? To throw your deodorant, your shampoo, your shaving kit, all those things in this little kind of toiletry bag. And man, I have seen those so often as really great pipe kits, pipe pouches. A lot of them even will have little loops in there for things like razors and fingernail clippers and stuff like that. And those loops a lot of times will be perfect for things like pipes or tamps or pipe cleaners and things like that. And so if you've got an old toiletry bag laying around the house, one of those old-fashioned DOP kits, those are really cool for all your tobacco essentials. So I really would point you to that. And I think that'll be an encouragement to you to get you started, something just to collect all those knickknacks that might threaten to kind of overwhelm your new pipe experience. You can put them all in one neat kind of place and tote it with you wherever you go. So that is my beginner's now what for the new pipe smoker that got his pipe at Christmas time.
Brilliant. I've got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Though. So for in terms of packaging and what did you use? What was the first method that you used to carry around your pipes and tobacco?
A paper sack.
Was it a paper sack? Okay. I was curious.
It was definitely a paper sack. Yeah.
For me, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like a bag of Crown Royal. You know how when you get Crown Royal, it'll sometimes come in like a
cotton faux velvet bag thing with the drawstring.
It's got little tassels on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you already feel like it's kind of fancy, it's a Crown Royal bag, it's purple, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna put my pipe stuff in there.
Cool. There was something special to it.
Yeah.
The problem was actually when I got a church warden pipe, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna work.
It won't fit. Right.
But and of course, eventually it broke down because that cotton ain't that it's not that strong.
That's right. That's right. But the first, I eventually got a cigar box, one that fit the pipe and the tobacco. The first cigar box I got, I actually had to take the pipe apart to put it in the box. It was one of those boxes that just didn't quite fit the whole setup without the pipe coming apart. So if you can, it's best to find one just large enough to put your pipe and all the stuff in without having to pull your pipe apart. But yeah, if you can just find something where things will kind of nestle down in there, I'm telling you, it'll make your pipe smoking experience a lot more enjoyable because you won't constantly be searching for all your little knickknacks to go with kind of your pipe setup. So yeah.
So you got your pipe, you got your tamp, you got your cleaners, you got your tobacco, you got a way to carry it. I would just also offer this one last charge, and that is to not stress out. Take your time. The first couple of times that you try to smoke your pipe, you're probably not going to do it right. And it may frustrate you a little bit, but don't let it. I mean, part of the pipe is to slow down, take your time. As John David likes to say, there's a cadence to it. You're building up essentially a skill set as you're learning to smoke your pipe. Enjoy the process and don't try to rush it. If you came to the pipe for a chance to kind of slow down in an already rushed life, enjoy the fact that you don't rush through figuring this out. And so, get connected with
your great point.
Yeah, get connected with your local pipe community, your local tobacconist. Right into the show. One of the things that we do here and we're about to do in just a minute is we take weekly pipe questions, and we try to help those who've been in the hobby for quite some time and those of you who are just getting into it. So one of the things we strongly encourage you to do is just relax. It's okay if it doesn't go well the first couple of times. That's perfectly normal. It takes practice. Just like anything great, anything worth doing, it's going to take some practice. It's
going to take a little time, yeah. But man, I think that's great advice, Beau. And lean on people in the Country Squire radio community. Lean on your local tobacconists. Lean on folks online and the forums that you come across. And man, I think you'll be rewarded with years and years of wonderful, relaxing pipe smoke.
So let me just say to those out there who, a lot of what we talked about tonight was about for those of you who just got a pipe.
That's right.
Some of you thought you did good all year. You open up your stocking, and what did you get? You got coal.
I know.
not John David Cole.
Not John David Cole. That's right.
You didn't get what you wanted. You wanted a new pipe. And you're like, well, I got coal. I didn't get that $1,000 check that I really wanted. I didn't get the whatever it may be. But you know what? I still want a pipe. And let me tell you, there's still a great way to get a great quality pipe at an extremely great price. And that's to go corncob. And I'm talking specifically corncob pipes from the good folks at Missouri Meerschaum.
That's right. That's right.
Of course, Missouri Meerschaum, sponsor of this show, going strong now into 2017. We're excited to announce them as a sponsor in this new year. And we've got a great pipe specifically bringing the show to you tonight, and that is the Diplomat. Diplomat is a really, really classy pipe. It's got that nice bowl, that nice rounded bowl. I really, really love this pipe. Missouri Meerschaum, known, of course, for quality, getting creative in terms of the corncob pipes and what you can do there. But yeah, I think of the Diplomat as a corncob pipe that perhaps the senator might smoke as he is standing giving his address on the town hall, such and such.
That's right. That's right. It's just a real clean shape. It comes in a straight and a bent variation. And one of those that I think you're making a statement when you smoke a pipe. We've established that. The Diplomat is a measured statement that's it's very safe and yet exudes a sense of learnedness and wisdom and all those other things. So we certainly point you to that pipe. It's got a medium-sized bowl, so you'll have plenty of tobacco in your chamber there to smoke for a nice evening on the porch with your friends. And of course, the quality of Missouri Meerschaum that you expect.
I just hope that Phil just heard you say that the Diplomat pipe exudes learnedness.
That's right.
And wants to quote you on that.
That's right. That's right.
It absolutely does. I feel like I just got learnedness hearing that. So check them out. Of course, Missouri Meerschaum pipes. If you got a Diplomat, be sure to smoke it this week. Take a picture of yourself. We love to retweet that to let the people at Missouri Meerschaum know that you love them and we love them for helping make this show happen. Pipe question of the week this week.
Yeah.
Now, as promised, like I said, this is something that we do every single week here at Country Squire. We answer questions that are written or, in some instances, called into the show.
That's right.
So the pipe question of the week this week comes in from listener Mark, thank you. Sorry, I was trying to pull it up. The pipe question of the week this week comes in from listener Mark, who asks, why does my church warden smoke wet? And then I'm going to add, for those of us that may not know, what does it mean to smoke a pipe wet?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Mark, it was really great. Mark is new to pipe smoking. He called in today from Georgia and had actually purchased a church warden pipe and got him some nice tobacco here at our shop and we're really thrilled to kind of walk with him as he's getting involved in his new pipe adventure and all this. But it come to the pipe from the cigar world, so was used to something in tobacco a little different, but had some questions and wanted to get involved, and loves his new church warden pipe. But notice that during the smoke, it tends to gargle a little bit. That pipe gurgle that we talk about, where the pipe does smoke wet. So let's start with that. What does that mean for a pipe to smoke wet? If a pipe smokes wet, it's you're typically finding moisture in the bottom of the bowl that is maybe creating a bubbling noise or a tougher, more thick draw on the pipe as you're smoking it. So ideally, a pipe is going to smoke dry and cool, and those two things go hand in hand. If your pipe smokes drier, it's typically going to smoke cooler. One of the things that people like about straight pipes, like me, is that they find that straight pipes tend to smoke drier than bent pipes do, because straight pipes, you don't have the condensation that builds up in the airway all collecting in one place. It's kind of more evenly distributed throughout the length of the stem. So with a bent pipe, a lot of that condensation that builds up throughout the stem, it's going to roll downhill and kind of collect in the bottom of that pipe there. So a lot of folks that do smoke bent pipes will find some of that. And church wardens can be kind of notorious for smoking a little wet, because you've got such an internal airway there for all that saliva and condensation to kind of build up. You've got that a really long airway where there's all this opportunity for condensation to build up on the inside of the stem and the airway. And if it pulls downhill, if it's a bent pipe, it may collect in the bottom of that and just kind of gurgle a little bit. It's just going to be one of those that will smoke a little wet.
So could you replicate the noise of what that might sound like?
Maybe something like that was terrible.
That's
no,
awesome.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that with some pipes, it's just kind of a necessary evil that you have to get through. With a short pipe, a short stem pipe, a lot of times if you're a smoker, you might even take a pipe cleaner in the middle of your smoke and just run it into the pipe and back out, just to kind of clear out some of that condensation, even in the middle of your smoke. So, you've puffed a few times, you've noticed that it's kind of starting to get that gurgle. You'll reach for your pipe cleaners, grab one, poke one in the end of the stem, run it through and pull it back out. And a lot of times that will alleviate it very fast. You can't always do that. Sometimes you have a pipe that won't run a cleaner through. A lot of pipes that are factory made, they pride themselves on doing that, running a cleaner without taking it apart. But a lot of pipes, just won't do that. And so you can't do that. Or if you've got a filter in your pipe, your cleaner is not going to make it through the filter to be able to do that. So most often what you'll have to do is kind of, once your pipe, you just power through. Once your pipe is cooled down, take it apart and just give it a really good scrub afterwards. Let your pipe dry. It's one of those things you want to rotate and rest your pipes. And so let your pipes cool off, dry out for a few days before you smoke them again. And that'll just give, you the best opportunity on that next smoke to have a real nice dry pipe. For it to smoke as dry as possible the next go around. Those residual oils and saliva, they will kind of build up, and it's important to give that pipe an opportunity to breathe. So church wardens, they can do that. They kind of have a tendency to smoke a little wetter because of that. The nice thing about a church warden is that wetness is kind of counteracted by the length of the stem. You've got this long stem that is, typically cooling the smoke down before it gets to your tongue, because there's so much more real estate for that smoke to cover before it gets, to your tongue from the bowl. So hopefully that'll help the process as well. But anyway, I hope that gives you some encouragement. Try to pick a tobacco that's not too syrupy wet to smoke, particularly in a church warden pipe. I think those real syrupy tobaccos that are just real oily, a lot of times they are culprits with this, heavy smoking gurgle. And so if you pick a tobacco that's got less of that, casing in it and things like that, I think you'll have better success.
Man, I just think about how I fail at that because my church warden, my acorn specifically, the little tiny thing.
Yeah.
I exclusively smoke blue ribbon in it.
Yeah,
and I mean you can't get sweeter than that.
Yeah, you've picked a syrupy tobacco to smoke in your church ward. Yeah, and that's great. But you're just gonna, if that's the case,
that's a smaller bowl though.
It's a small bowl.
Like typically, I burn through it before I get to the gurgle.
Exactly. Yeah. If you've got a smaller bowl, you're not sitting there forever. Just like you said, the likelihood of you getting to that point is lower because, that only happens after a significant buildup of the, condensation inside the stem.
Yeah, this is more if you got like a Nording, church warden with that huge bowl,
big old chunky dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Go English.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, English. Those non-flavored blends, man, they tend to smoke a little drier. So, but if you're an early pipe smoker, that might be something to build up to, and you're not quite there yet. So.
Great question, Mark.
Yeah, real good question, Mark. And we're glad you got to call in today.
Hey, and if you got a pipe question of the week, you can send it in. Send it to us, show@countrysquireradio.com. Quick fire questions. Ow! All right, man. We've got quick fire questions in from Mango Andy.
Okay. Mango Andy.
Mango Andy. He sent us like this laundry list at the end of last year. So we're kind of carving through these. I do want to remind folks that this list was come up with not just from Mango Andy, but from his mango child as well, his 9-year-old. So
the little mango.
The little mango. Is there I was trying to think of a fruit that's like a
mini mango.
The mini mango.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's like the little, kumquat or something.
There you go. So he wrote in, he's got his 9-year-old who's helped him with this. Here's the questions. Again, these were actually submitted to us from the forums over at thispipelife.com. Stay tuned to hear a little bit more about them. All right, you ready?
Bring it.
Socks and shoes or flip-flops?
Man, I think I've got to go with flip-flops. Yeah.
Toes, I mean, like
exposed toes, like in the South. I don't know. There's something about the air wicking quality abilities of going flip flops. I got to go flip flops.
No, that is fair. That is absolutely fair. It gets hot down here, and so if you've got your foot that is like trapped by all of these layers, it's going to get pretty nasty by the end of the day. But you got a flip flop, you can air it out. I typically go shoe, no socks.
Oh yeah,
is that
no? You're just being real fratty.
Well. I'm trying to be. What are the Skechers? Is that what I'm wearing right there?
Yeah, so you go shoes with no socks.
You go shoes, no socks. That's typically
the problem when you do that, Beau, is that your feet really stink.
They're disgusting. Absolutely.
So as long as you leave the shoes on, we can still be friends.
Here's the thing. My dog never complains. She always goes for the feet anyway.
That's good. Bet your wife does.
No, not so much. Not so much. All right. Theater popcorn with or without butter. So you got the theater popcorn. Do you go butter? Do you go no butter?
With butter. That's the popcorn in the theater.
It's the vehicle.
Now look, you're talking to, if you're a longtime listener of Country Squire Radio, I don't watch movies. I don't go to movies, but when I do, one of the points I even go for, part of the reason I don't even go to the movies is because I got to sit there in a dark room for an hour and a half. I can't fidget with something. I can't smoke my pipe. I can't get up and walk around, make a new drink or whatever. I got to sit there in a dark room for an hour and a half with all these strangers. The least I can have, I've got to have some doggone popcorn to fidget with. And the point of the popcorn is to be a vehicle for the butter.
I just see you going to a movie theater,
bitter old man,
$8 for just whatever, walking through to the popcorn machine, spending $8 more for a bag of popcorn,
and then walking out,
and then walking straight out. Like best $16 ever spent.
Oh, man. Exactly. No, you gotta have butter on the popcorn in the theater.
You gotta have a little bit because it gets really dry without. I'm not like somebody who just wants to like submerge it in butter. It's good, like you need it, but I'm more of like kind of a light glaze.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, I'll let you get away with that.
Of course, I also am there for the movie.
Right. It's one difference we have. Yeah. Right. You're there for the whole movie thing, and I'm there, right. It kind of, I'm the one that's being dragged along, right?
And then finally, this is kind of similar to a question we've got before, but it's a good question. Day in the mountain or day at the beach?
Beach. People always say, are you a mountains person or a beach person? And I used to be one of these mountains people, but man, as life has gone on, on a vacation, like, man, give me the beach. 8 times out of 10. I mean, I don't want to have to light a fire. I don't,
Mm.
I don't want to have to pitch a tent. I don't want to have to work for anything. I just want to go lay down and sip something cool and sweet. And that's it.
I'm at it like this.
Isn't that terrible?
I'm
Man,
at,
I
like,
sound like a really lazy
no,
person.
no, no. That's perfectly acceptable. I got to tell you, I'm kind of at this moment of change in my life.
Yeah.
Where if you had asked me this like 2 weeks ago, I would have said beach immediately. My wife and I just took a trip up to Memphis, and we brought our dog with us. Like, this is the first time that we ever brought a dog on a trip.
Oh yeah.
And so we did like all of these trails, and we did all of this like walking and everything else. And we're not like outdoorsy people. I know that shocks you. Yeah. We're just
right.
We're not that. And so we were actually this morning talking specifically about like, okay, well, if we get some time in this year, what, how do we want to do trips and that sort of thing. And I found myself kind of thinking like, if we could bring the dog,
yeah,
I'd go to a cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
Now it has to be like a nice furnished cabin with like the wood burning fireplace already set up for you and everything.
Dude,
again,
we are so high maintenance.
Wow. We are not outdoorsy.
I mean, I will say I can build a fire. I can pitch a tent. I can do all those things.
Yeah.
But life's busy. If I have a free weekend and you gave me, the opportunity to go hiking and, do all that stuff or go to the beach and sit on my tail and, have someone serve me a really ice cold Corona, I'm probably going to do that one.
Can't really smoke a pipe on the beach.
That is true. That is true. And I'll give you that. It is very difficult to smoke a pipe on the beach. Pipes on the beach actually have the ability to burn out. It's real easy for pipes on a beach to burn out because of all that heavy wind coming over the top of the pipe. So you got to be careful if you take your pipe to the beach.
Did I tell you about when I was in Cancun?
I don't
know if I mentioned this on the show or not.
I'm not sure.
So when I went to Cancun last year, this is this big getaway with my wife. It was so awesome. And so we had like the balcony thing where it's kind of, it's not fully enclosed, but enough so that the wind doesn't go there. So you're able to smoke your pipe.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I was smoking. I brought with me some Treasure Island.
Okay.
Very rum tobacco, delicious. I was reading.
It's very appropriate for going to Cancun.
Yeah. Go back to our Pirates and Pipe Tobacco, the last Pirates and Pipe Tobacco episode we did. I probably talked about it there because I was reading a book on Bartholomew Roberts, who ended up being kind of the focus of that particular episode. But while I was there, I didn't finish smoking my Treasure Island, and I buried it in the sand. not as like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like trying to litter here. I just thought like, I like the idea of somebody finding treasure of this tobacco here buried in the sand.
Treasure Island
on the beach.
On the Treasure Island.
On the coast. So if you ever go to Cancun and you happen to come across a bottle that has like a rolled up bag of tobacco and it's marked.
That's nice.
It says Treasure Island on it.
That's nice.
You're welcome.
Man, we're going to get an order from like Venezuela or something because of that. Yeah, that's really cool. Amazing. Yeah.
Great questions.
Yeah, those are good questions. Yeah.
Mango Andy, of course, submitting those in through the great forums at thispipelife.com. If you've not joined the forums at thispipelife.com, you absolutely should. Great online pipe community with some great support there. And also, once you do go into their community, their forums, you'll find one that says quick fire questions. That's where you can go and submit questions into the show. We love the folks over at thispipelife.com. Use the code CSR when you sign up and let them know that you heard about them right here on Country Squire Radio. Listen up feedback. All right, man.
We have such great listeners.
We do. And actually we
get all this awesome feedback from them. Like, I mean, just, what's going on in the pipe world, things about our Country Squire Radio community. This is always probably my favorite part of the show.
All right. So this is kind of unique. Historically, when we do listener feedback, we do digital because, I mean, this is a digital format.
Yeah.
Tonight, we actually have physical stuff. We've actually got,
that's right.
Some listener feedback that came in the form of packages and written notes to share here on the show. John David, let's see. I will take this first one, and I'm okay to read this, right?
Man, let me make sure.
Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And this is real. This is real. You heard the paper right there. All right. This comes in from Rob Edwards, who writes in saying, "Dear John David, I wanted to take a few moments to say how much I've enjoyed sampling many of your custom blends this past year. I also look forward to each podcast you and Beau produce. Keep up the good work. As a token of my appreciation, I've enclosed 2 pipe nails, hand forged by a blacksmith named Pat McCarty. Is that correct? McCarty?
Yeah, Pat McCarty.
From Washington, Minnesota.
That'd be
Missouri.
Missouri.
There you go.
Yep.
From Washington, Missouri. Please pass one along to Beau. Hope this gets to you before Christmas. Best wishes. Again, that's Rob Edwards, and he is in Baker.
Looks like Belchertown, Massachusetts.
Belchertown, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Now, this is why you were making fun of the fact that I was making fun of you for the rusty nail.
Right.
Because this is a
It's a giant forged nail.
And it's
awesome.
You know, our live show can actually see it here on the video, and we'll
Yeah.
take some pictures and share that out this week on the Facebook group. But this is hardcore.
It's so cool, man. It's just such a big kind of homemade nail. It's one of those, it's got a real generous head on that nail, so it's real big flat tamp, but then he's smoothed out the end of it, obviously hammered that down to a nice flat edge, so you can really get in there for a nice reaming reaming tool for your pipe. So just really cool. What a great gift. And of course, Rob was kind enough to send us each one of those from all the way from Massachusetts.
This is not a rusty nail, my friend.
No, it's not rusty.
This is
You're
hardcore
right.
right here.
Yep.
This is definitely hardcore.
But that's awesome. It's cool. I come. It's funny, you and I let our personalities bleed into the show all the time. And
what? Really?
Yeah, I know, right? Coming from the Anglican tradition, there's a tradition during Lent for you to carry a Lenten nail in your pocket.
Wow. Yeah.
And the nail obviously represents one of the one of the nails that was actually used to nail Jesus to the cross, which is kind of an interesting tradition. And so you carry this nail around in your pocket, and maybe as you're fidgeting for your keys or something, you can kind of think of that and return to the point of the season of Lent.
Sure.
When I saw this, I immediately thought of so many of those rough-hewn Lenten nails that I've seen during that time of year. I think it's kind of reminiscent of that. So, but anyway, Rob, what a cool gift. We're really, really thankful to have those, man.
Absolutely. All right, now the next one up, and again, I like to shake it so they know this is like a physical
object.
Physical object.
Yeah.
Physical letter. Of course, from Portland, Paul. You want to read that one?
Yeah, sure. He says, first of all, I'd like to say that I appreciate what you do very much. The community that you've created, and I'll edit that to say that we have created, because y'all are as big of a part of this as we are, has been a blessing to me. On top of that, I know I'm not the only one that is grateful for what you do, and not only your loyal listeners, but the pipe world, pipe community, to encourage them to grow and flourish. I love knowing I have two brothers as well, as brothers of the pipe, all the way across the country. My family derives so much enjoyment from our weekly TV show on YouTube, and we're imagining Portland, Paul, you might even be listening right now with your family,
he is.
which is really cool. But I'd like to also extend thanks on behalf of my lovely wife as well. Please keep doing what you do, and know that you have some extended family here in the great Northwest. This is really cool. Paul actually was kind enough to send us a bag of coffee, and also a bag of coffee dry meat rub for Beau and I. And so it's funny. I have never heard of meat rub made from espresso, but this is such a great idea. This is rub that you'd put on ribs or a steak or whatever, and it's made with espresso beans, which I just think is so cool. And so, man, we got that from him, and also a really great bag of coffee from the Happy Rock Coffee Roasting Company in Gladstone, Oregon. And man, just thought that was awesome. My girlfriend is a coffee nut. She's actually a barista, and one of her big, most exciting things that she does is try new coffees. And so this weekend we actually got to break open the coffee that he gave us from Happy Rock Coffee Roasting, and man, really enjoyed it. It was great. So man, Portland Paul, we want to just really thank you for that gift, and man, your kind words. That was such a great letter.
Absolutely, guys. We really, really appreciate all of this great, wonderful feedback. And man, what a special way to close out the year too, is getting these packages. I kept on getting these text messages from John David saying that we got these lovely gifts, and I was just like, what? Really? This is incredible.
I feel so special.
So we really appreciate it. The community that we've seen, and just the pipe community as broadly is huge and great, and we're glad to grow that with the of course announced at the beginning of the show, the Country Squire Radio Pipe Club. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, every single week this month we will be giving away a gift to Pipe Club members, or kind of choosing at random from Pipe Club members.
That's right.
And so what is the gift that we'll be giving next week? at random.
That's right.
John David.
Yeah. So, okay, if you sign up for the Pipe Club this week, you will be entered for a drawing for a Caribe lighter. It's a pipe lighter in the old boy style, and it is the Oki Black Matte Pipe Lighter, and it's really cool. It's in the old boy style. It's got kind of the hammer you flip up there with the flint and butane action device there. So, real popular lighter. And the Oki with the Oki Matte Black lighter actually has the pipe tamper and pick built right into it. So, really cool. This lighter, it's actually $135 lighter. So we're giving away some really cool, sweet stuff.
Dude,
if you,
I'm sorry, how much was that?
It's $135 lighter. Yeah. So we are
$135.
Man, we are giving that away to a new member of the Country Squire Radio Pipe Club. And we're really excited to be doing that. So this is just the first of many gifts that we'll be giving away this month, but we will be giving this away next week
at random.
Totally on our next episode of Country Squire Radio. And we're terribly excited about that. So we just started this year carrying the Caribe lighters at the Country Squire. These are really high quality pipe lighters. They're made, obviously with Japanese engineering and design. And we're just really impressed with all the quality they've put together. The packaging's really nice. It has a nice heft in your hand without being way too heavy or anything like that. But if you want just this really classic old school lighter, if you again sign up for our brand spanking new Pipe Club,
that's right.
You could win this next week.
I'm sorry, I have to wax poetic on this for just a second. Like the packaging on this lighter is a crack. Like it's like a dude who's out on a raft, like almost like he was marooned, and so he like scrapped together a raft, and so he's floating on the ocean. There's a freaking kraken underneath him, but he doesn't know it. That's just incredible.
That's pretty great.
That's awesome. For a lighter,
as someone that's more right-brained, I'm such a sucker for this kind of thing. But they really nailed it on the whole feel when you purchase this lighter and you get such a whole experience. You kind of hate to toss away even the little packaging that comes with it because it's just so beautiful. So, but anyway, there it is. It's the Oki Black Matte Pipe Lighter from Caribe, and man, we'll be giving it away to one of our new Pipe Club members next week.
Man, so exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, be sure to keep up with us. By the way, you can, of course, become a new Pipe member by heading over to countrysquireradio.com, clicking the button that says join the club. You can't miss it. It's right there. We also want to encourage you while you're at countrysquireradio.com to connect with us on various social media, facebook.com/countrysquireradio. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter. The show's Twitter handle is @SquireRadio. You can also follow us individually. I'm at The Real Beau York.
I'm at John David Cole, or you can get us at the shop at _Country Squire.
Of course, all that information and more can be found at countrysquireradio.com, where you can tune in live every single Monday night at 6:30 Central Time. That's 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Also, pause for pulling up the wrong page. Also, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern.
That's right.
Live at countrysquireradio.com. We really appreciate all of y'all who tuned in for our live show tonight. If you're tuning in for the first time, if you're a new pipe smoker, you just got a pipe, welcome to a great community. Welcome to, I think, a really fun adventure for you.
That's
right.
If
we can be of any help to you along the way, please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to interact with us in all those ways. And, man, I think you'll find a lot of great resources in the Country Squire Radio community at large.
All right, man. It's been a fun one. We got a great year ahead of us.
Dude, absolutely.
Let's go have a night.
See you, brother.
Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in the live show, especially those of you who've gone ahead already and become members.
That was crazy. That's really, really encouraging.
So affirming. Like I really appreciate that, guys. Yep. So tune in next week. We got a gift for one of y'all that we can't wait to share out. So we'll be here next week. And until then, we'll see y'all.
Good night, y'all.
Right. And then actually.